or local things. Here's my problem with Foursquare, with Yelp, with a couple of the different companies, because there's a couple of them that do them right now. Foursquare was the prized baby of South by Southwest last year. This is really where it came out. People said this is the next big thing. I thought the next step for Foursquare originally was going to be bought out, like anything else online, right? I thought Facebook was going to buy it, and then they just kind of absorb it into it, because it's still got hundreds of thousands of people still use it. But the problem here is Facebook now, so I've heard, is working on their own app. Their own check-in location-based app. As soon as they do that, thanks for coming to the party. 350 million users, 175 million that check in already every day. So what's the extension of this? Nothing to do this. And Facebook is actually the perfect place to do it because, in theory, they're your friends. You know them already, so you're okay with them knowing. The problem with hooking this into Twitter is you're telling everybody, creepy. A little bit creepy sometimes, right? And the problem is too, with location-based in the open, since women dominate social media, you see the issue here? Mm-hmm. Women are usually the ones hesitant to say, I'm here now, I'm here now. Somebody like me, I'm like, yay, look at me, I'm over here now. And I don't care who knows where I am. But if you're female, you almost sometimes will automatically say, should I? Yeah, Aaron.
I was just going to say, like, I had Foursquare right when it came to Toronto.
Yeah.
That's the reason that I deleted it, because I had all these friends requests from people, that I knew on Twitter but weren't necessarily my best friends.
Right.
It's not that I didn't like them, I just didn't want everyone in the world knowing where I was checking in all the time. So, you can opt to not share that information with everyone and use it just to get the tips and everything, but then I feel like you're just not using it to the full potential.
And it won't become part of your routine. And that's the key for anything in social media. It has to become part of your routine or it will not saturate enough to be out there. And so Foursquare needs you to want everybody to know something, at least within your circle. And to control that circle, you can choose, should I tweet this? Just keep it on Foursquare. But the problem is, as soon as you tweet it, people want to add you where you may or may not know them, right? I have I just started it. I got 400 people on there now. I don't care if they know it. Some guy in Brazil knows I'm at the coffee shop across the street. Not a big implication, but you have to think about it for a second. You're opening up the world. It literally is reverse stalking. It wasn't a joke. You're saying, I'm here now. Not to mention, you're mentioning when you're not home.
Oh my
God.
See what I'm saying here? So, now mind you, your friends might be different than mine. Half my friends would probably rob me if they knew I wasn't home. That's just who I roll with. I get that, right? But for you guys, so Facebook is your trusted circle. That's how I see Facebook. It's like my trusted circle. Twitter, you get to know people. Facebook's for people I already know, right? So your trust is already there, so it's not as bad. So that's why I think if Facebook rolls it out, they're killing everything. So I don't see Foursquare going much higher. Now I'm going to eat my words because the next greatest thing, and then I never said it. So, just so you know.
It's on film.
Yeah, it's on film and probably on Twitter, so I'll have to bribe some people, that's fine. So I just see this is it. This is where it's going to go because it's so logical and it's already routine-based. And I don't want you guys to forget that point is key for everything. If you have a business, you have a service online or something, it needs to become part of a person's routine. That is everything. Twitter's part of a routine. I survey people, obviously it's biased, but I survey people on Twitter about Twitter. Not exactly an unbiased marketplace, but I ask people who access Twitter through a mobile device, I asked them to take a survey, and number one was you check Twitter first thing in the morning from bed. The second option was you check it before you go to sleep in bed. The third option was you check it before when you wake up and going to bed. And fourth is I do other things in bed. Here's the scary part. Majority of people picked I check it before and after, when I wake up and go to sleep. And barely anybody put other things in bed. We're a sad world, tweeters. We're a sad world. But I still feel the love in 140 characters. And I don't feel guilty afterwards. So it's a whole different world where Twitter's the habit. It's part of my habit. And you have to make it habitual. You gotta get to that point where it's part of your routine. I don't think twice. I roll over, wake up with one eye and go, let's check Twitter. And that's how it works for me. That's what you need to be able to do, okay? Any questions on location-based stuff?
So will you always show as the first person that checked into the Gentleman's Club?
Yes, that'll live on forever. Awesome. I'm screwed. I'm so screwed. My brand is done. Yeah.
Are you going to do like a tour of Gentleman's Club?
No. Instead of the book tour, I'm actually doing the strip club tour, so you're all invited. It's going to be a bus, yes, with plastic wrap on the seats. It's going to be great, yeah.
What do you need to value off the grid?
A value of,
Off the grid.
meaning,
Foursquare. Because you can check in but be off the grid, right? So not really actually note where you are publicly.
Yeah, and that's where being the question is you checking in but not really announcing it everywhere. There's a value in it, but that doesn't help the growth of it. And without that site growing and being active, it's not going to work. So if you kind of hidden check in because you want to see the offers or what other people have said, that's cool, but that does not help the growth. It's like tweeting and only DMing. It doesn't spread the growth of it. So I see why, but I don't see that helping the growth. And if I don't active in public with it, it's not going to help the growth at all. Yeah.
Who's making the offers? They're paying to make the offers?
Again, they've kind of changed how it works where you sign up and make the offer. Initially, it was anybody who wanted to do it because they're trying to get growth to it right now. So I don't know how they're working it this week. Somebody told me that they're changing it around. They had to pay a certain amount to be offered, which is their potential revenue stream. Because who knows, social media, who has a revenue stream, right? It's just let's just make it fun. It's like 1999 all over again. You know, let's have no revenue estimates whatsoever and do it. So I don't know how they're moving towards it now. But right now, when I saw the company I knew registered in New York got in there for nothing, just to get in there and show the advantage of it. So
I just asked because this is premium AdWords. Would Google be a more appropriate?
well, again, the big question is, what is the habit? If you go into Kensington, how are you going to find out where to go eat? Right? The question is, what are you going to do? You're going to go down your level of trust. So first, you're going to ask people you know. And for me, my level of trust is Twitter. That's who I asked. Literally, I was in the East End last week. I was in a coffee shop with Wi-Fi and stuff, and within 10 seconds, Twitter's my Google. I'm just lazy now. I'm just asking. People are like, why don't you ask Google there, Einstein? Like, shut up. Yeah, I want to ask you. Twitter is my trusted Google. That's what it is for me, and that's where I'm going to go. So I'm not going to default potentially, but Foursquare makes it easy for me to say what's around here, but it's not saturated enough for me to rely on it. So my default's Twitter still. It's not going to override it. So again, it's a little shifty back. Yeah.
How do you think location-based apps will be affected by the privacy laws that are coming down from the federal government?
You know, the problem with the privacy laws too, they're so country-based that, you know, and Canada's so much stronger. Canada's the one that took Facebook to court, right, and took them down with the privacy issues. So that's another issue. So Facebook, if they can roll it into their already existing agreement, it's much easier for them to do that than a new company coming in there and trying to deal with all the different countries. That's what stopped them from growing into here in the first place, was the issue of privacy, because we, again, one of some of the strongest privacy laws there are. So it will cause an issue for a smaller company. Facebook, again, they own half the world, so they're going to roll with it right now. Facebook's is the Google strength of, you know, social media. So yeah.
Just wondering, where does Canada rank in terms of social media use worldwide?
And overall, Canada is probably per capita is one of the best countries in the world. If you guys agree with me, if you guys seen this type of thing, Canada's always strong in social media. So again, it's per capita. It's not numbers in total, but it's per population. We're really, really strong. So here we go. Should we join the